Welcome back to another SPR Sports News podcast. The college football playoffs are down to the semifinals. The NFL is going to the playoffs. Some teams were left out, some teams snuck in. I'm going to break it all down right now. Starting this off, we're going to go back to the college football playoffs. I always start at college, then NFL, then if there's extra stuff, we'll go into it. If it's baseball or UFC will probably be one more week, and then we'll be getting into it. And trust me, I dive into the MMA pretty hard. You'll be a little bit surprised because I've been only doing football at this point. I'm huge in MMA. So we're going to start college football. Well, Mr. Paul over there, the SEC dick sucker, definitely was wrong with that Alabama take. He was like, well, if Indiana had the same schedule as Alabama, they wouldn't be right here. They whooped your ass. Whooped Alabama's ass. I don't understand what is with this SEC love that some of these guys are. It's like, dude, Alabama should not have ever been in. Yes, they beat Oklahoma, but Oklahoma, they were there because of their defense alone. That was it. Their offense was never great this year, and which is weird. If you look at when they were in the Big 12, the last 10 years, their offense has been the big thing. The Big 12 is known for no defense, all offense. They come to the SEC, they get a defense, but they have no offense. Crazy. So now Alabama plays Indiana. They get the brakes beat off them. 38-3. I did say if Indiana goes up on Alabama 17-0, that they're going to put their foot on their throat. It's not going to be the same case. And that's exactly what happened. So I was spot on with this one. Indiana was going to win this game, no doubt about it. I'm going in order of bad games versus good. The next one I want to go into is Oregon versus Texas Tech. I did pick Oregon. Oregon did win 23-0. It was a closer game than what the score says. It really was. It didn't become a blowout till the late third quarter. It was a close game, first half, and even at the beginning of third quarter, Oregon scored and made it 2-possession. It was a close game until it wasn't. It was just Texas Tech was not ready for this moment. They had a bye. They're never here this far in. Oregon has composure. They played well. They faced adversity, and then they overcame it, won this game. I thought it was going to be closer than it was. The score does make it seem like it was an ass whooping, but it really wasn't. The score is like a poop ton touchdown, as I call it. They make it 23-0. So, congratulations, Oregon. Moving to the semifinals also. Next one, we're going to talk about the absolutely massive upset. Miami, Florida, the Hurricanes beat Ohio State. Wow. My take was that Ohio State would have been favored against everyone. If you put them up, they would be the favorite by Vegas odds. I'm going to stand on that. I believe before this last game that if Ohio State was playing any one of the remaining 7 teams, they would have been the favorite. Indiana would have been a toss-up, but I still think they would have been favored if not a coin flip. I think that Miami, Florida's defense is beyond legit. Their D-line is incredible. I will say that they probably have 2 top 15 guys going into the draft off of the D-line alone. Incredible D-line. Carson Beck just didn't turn the ball over, played good football, made a play or two when he needed to. They won the game. Ohio State couldn't do anything with that D-line that Miami throwing at them. They were sending 4 people and sometimes 3 and getting pressure. They were stuffing the run immediately. What won Miami the game was the defense and their offense playing safe and good football. They weren't going crazy. There wasn't a shootout. They had to play smart. Ohio State did have a little bit of holes on the defense. They did get gashed a couple times. Miami got across midfield 6 or 7 times in this game, so they could have been an ass whooping. Ohio State did miss a couple kicks again. For some reason, Ohio State had a kicker problem in the Big Ten championship game, and now in this game, the Cotton Bowl. Does that mean my take is wrong, that Ohio State shouldn't have been favored? No. They should have been favored over Miami, Florida. Am I extremely happy? Of course. I'm an Ohio State hater. Yes, I'm a Notre Dame fan, so people would be like, oh, you should not be happy that Miami's in. I have no problem with Miami being in. I've said from the get-go that I don't believe that fucking Tulane and JMU should have been in. I'm okay with Miami should have been in. Miami should have been in, Notre Dame should have been in, and BYU or Texas should have been in over bullshit JMU and fucking Tulane. That's my opinion. I have nothing against Miami when it comes to that. Am I a fan of Miami? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because I live in Florida. I live in Southern Florida. So trust me, I know how Miami fans are. Whenever they get the tiniest bit of good, they rub it in your face. They could stink for 10 years. Miami Dolphins going to 3-0 start off the year, they'll act like they're Super Bowl winners. I swear to God. It's insane. It's like, have you noticed the last 10 years your team sucked? But Miami Hurricanes, same thing. I'm not saying they've sucked the last 10 years, but they haven't been in this kind of situation in the last 10 years. They really haven't. Like, they made the top 10, I think, once in the last 10 years. So, to end off the season. So, this is great job by Miami, and they're taking advantage of it. They have an incredible D-line. Their quarterback's playing smart. They are now favored against the next game I'm going to mention. Miami, Florida is going to be favored against Ole Miss, another upset. Ole Miss beating Georgia Bulldogs. I said I believe Georgia will win this by a field goal, and I said Ole Miss being a 6.5-point dog was stupid. That I thought this was going to be a hell date, which 100% it was. I have a couple things about this game I didn't like, but the rest of the game was awesome. Things I didn't like. Georgia's offensive play calling. 13 screenplays. What are we doing? Stop with the screenplays. Stop. Find something else to do. That's what cost you, in my opinion. You had 2 screenplays that did anything. Actually, 3. One of them got like 5 yards and 2 others were better. But the other 10 were blown up or incomplete passes. It was pathetic. Their offensive play calling was bad, but they still scored 34 points. Ole Miss, their offense, great job. Their quarterback, incredible. Do I believe they should be underdogs against Miami? Yes. I will say Miami's D-line has shut my mouth on them being underdogs. The only team I think they would be underdogs against is most likely Indiana. I think they might be favored against Oregon. If Miami played Oregon, I think they would be favored. That D-line's that gross. Indiana, it's just, they're great everywhere. But I'll get more into that matchup in a moment. So, Ole Miss wins this game. Hell date against Georgia. Now they're underdogs against Miami. I agree with that. Why? Well, once again, Ohio State, in my opinion, would have been favored against any team in this. I should say Miami should be favored over anyone. No. Miami found some holes where Ohio State had. Like a couple O-linemen weren't that good. They had some DBs that weren't that good. They took advantage. I do think that Indiana has those holes fixed. Do I still think it's going to be a tough day? Yes. But they have a Heisman-winning quarterback that will be the number 1 pick in a draft also. And I do think Indiana's head coach is better than Ryan Day. That's my opinion. Ryan Day, I think he's just been handed great rosters, the NIL. He's had the highest paid team each year of the NIL. I mean, other than 1 year where Colorado was the highest paid team. But the last 2, Ohio State's been the highest paid team. So that's the thing. So we're going to go Ole Miss. What can they do to beat Miami? My opinion, they got to get the ball out quick, some slant plays, a couple screens. Don't become Georgia and just think, what should we do every single play? Screenplay. No, don't do that. And trust your quarterback. He makes big plays. Don't take big sacks. The thing is, he did hold the ball quite a bit. And Miami's defense will get to you more than Georgia's did. And that's the truth. That D-line is probably the best in college football. There's probably one or two other D-lines that are really good. But of the remaining 4 teams, it's the best D-line for sure. So you can't hold on to the ball. You need to know how to get the ball away. Have to have quick outs on passes. Definitely, even if you want to make a big play, you got to have a quick route to go to that even if you have to throw it at their feet, if you have pressure in your face, you can do it. They have to play smart. And their defense has to not get gashed a couple times like Georgia did to them. They can't get gashed. The DBs in Miami are better than what Georgia's was. Georgia's DBs definitely were playing with no hands at some points. They looked like they were looking the opposite way and they didn't know what a football was. They were 20 yards away from a receiver sometimes that caught a ball for a touchdown. It was crazy. That won't happen with the Miami game. I am going to pick Miami because Carson Beck has been playing very efficient football, and with that defense, that will be enough to beat Ole Miss. If Carson Beck starts playing choke football, which he has done twice, he's had 2 big choke games in his college football career, not including this year with some of the bad teams that they lost to. I'm talking like in big moments, big games. He's had some choke situations. So if that Carson Beck shows up and chokes it, Ole Miss will gladly take it. Ole Miss is going to fight in this game. I believe the spread was 5.5 for Miami. If Miami plays clean football, I believe they cover that spread. If Miami plays kind of nasty football and they start turning the ball over or their defense starts screwing up, Ole Miss will take over. So my money would be on Miami in this one. And then Oregon versus Indiana. Big Ten versus Big Ten. Man, Indiana is my favorite. They beat Oregon by 10 earlier in the season. It is hard to beat a good team twice, but Oregon is a good team. Indiana is the best team right now. They basically are saying, hey, Sean, you know that take you said about Ohio State should be favored over anyone? Shut the fuck up. And I have to say, yeah, I have to on that one. Okay. Indiana's the best team. I understand Alabama was not that great of a team. They beat an Oklahoma team and people are immediately jumping at, oh, look, see, they won. They could beat Indiana now. SEC has won 2 games this postseason in this playoffs. Yeah, Alabama won. And 3 games, and Ole Miss won 2. Ole Miss beat Tulane, garbage, and the other 2 SEC wins were against SEC teams. Alabama beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma's an SEC. Ole Miss versus Georgia. There hasn't been any legit SEC wins against other conferences. Finally, Ole Miss gets to play Miami. Miami's playing like their ass is on fire. Ole Miss, same thing. I'll give them that. They're playing great football. But you'd think Alabama, Georgia, like big monsters. Nope. They weren't. I think the SEC days of dominating college football is definitely dying down, for sure, because Ohio State won it last year. You have 2 Big Ten teams left, and they are actually the 2 favorites to win it. If you look at Vegas odds, it is Indiana's favorite the most, then Oregon, then Miami, then Ole Miss. Because they think whoever wins between Indiana and Oregon will win it all. I think Miami could beat Oregon. I don't think Miami can beat Indiana. I have it going to be Miami versus Indiana. That is my opinion. Oh yeah, you're just picking an undefeated 1 seed. It's like, because they're proving it. That's the reason why. I'm not picking them because I'm fanboying. Like, I'm picking them because they're proving it. Indiana is clearly playing as the best team, and Miami, in my opinion, is playing as the second best team. Oregon is close, but they're the third best team. And I think Miami versus Oregon would be an incredible game. I don't think Miami versus Indiana would be. I think Indiana would actually do some damage to them. All right, that's my take for those. And those games are Thursday and Friday. So in a couple days, we'll find out. We get Miami versus Ole Miss first, and then the next day we get Oregon versus Indiana. We'll see how we go. I can see either team upsetting the other, so I want to put that out there. Ole Miss could win. Oregon could win. It's not like they cannot win these games. These are good 4 teams remaining. Even if we got the worst matchup, in my opinion, would be Indiana versus Ole Miss, because I just feel like Indiana's so much better. I still think there's a chance Ole Miss could upset because all 4 teams are very good teams. So don't be like, oh, you picked it wrong. Yeah, it happens. They're good football teams. I just feel like those 2 are the best, Indiana and Miami. All right, for the next segment, I'm going to talk about 2 of the games that happened this weekend, 2 or 3, just going over them quickly. And then I am going to do something different. Instead of just talking about the big storylines and stuff like that, I am going to do my live playoff bracket in front of me right now. Well, not right now, but in a second. I'm going to talk about these quick games real quick. Seattle versus 49ers in San Francisco for the number 1 seed. San Francisco's defense played real good, better than they've been playing this year. If you told me they held Seattle to 13 points or 16 points, I'd be like, oh, San Francisco won the game. No. Seattle's defense played lights out. Sam Darnold played clean football. Threw for 200 yards, no interceptions, just played clean football, did what they needed to. That last drive was beautiful. They milked 7 minutes off the clock, and it was just like, man, even if they run downfield score, it doesn't matter, because as soon as the onside kick happens, it's over. That's the case, and I was like, man, Seattle played good football. That defense is insane. I know Texans were the best defense in the league, but they've kind of had shaky games 2 of the last 3 games. Seattle has been locking it down every week now. Since that Rams game, they had a bad first half and they had a great second half. Since that second half of the Rams game on the Thursday Night Football a couple weeks ago, that Seattle team has locked really hard in. Like everything. Their defense is not letting stuff happen. Great job. Number 1 seed. The favorite now to win the Super Bowl by Vegas odds, as they should be. If Sam Darnold plays clean football, he doesn't it's crazy that their defense is so good and their special teams are so good that Sam Darnold just has to be a game manager and make a play or 2, and the team could win the Super Bowl. That's how good that defense is. And they get a week off on top of it. Unbelievable. Now the next game I want to talk about is Carolina versus Tampa Bay. Tampa wins against Carolina in Tampa. First half, really rainy, nasty weather. Bryce Young did not play good football. Dowdle couldn't get the run going. The O-line couldn't stop anything. Carolina just played bad football. There's no other way around it. They played bad football, and Tampa wasn't playing great football either. It was bad weather. Field was beat up. You could see it, how many people slipped, how many missed throws. It was a bad game. And it was like, there's a difference between this 4 seed and the 4 seed in the AFC, in my opinion. Carolina versus Tampa. With Tampa winning, you're like, oh, Tampa's going to be in. Last week, they were saying if Atlanta won and Tampa won, Atlanta was going to be in. Now they were saying today, like yesterday when this was happening, they were saying that if Atlanta won and Tampa won, Carolina was still in. They were all 3-3 in the division. They are all 1-1 against each other. Somehow Carolina gets the nod. I would need to look further into it. Why did it change all of a sudden? from last week to this week. But regardless, Atlanta won, Tampa won. So 3 teams were 8-9. 3 teams were 1-1 against each other. 3 teams were 3-3 in their division. And to be honest, the Saints was also 3-3 in their division. But they weren't an 8-9 record. So the nod goes to Carolina. Carolina gets to move on. They played a really bad game. They got blown out the week before by Seattle, which they had a good first half against Seattle, and then the second half, they got blown out. And with San Francisco losing and the Rams winning, San Francisco drops from possibly the 1 seed all the way to the 6 seed. And the Rams move up from the 6 seed up to the 5 seed. So now you're going to have a rematch of during this year where Carolina actually beat the Rams. Yes, they beat the Rams. Matthew Stafford played horrible football, and Carolina actually played a good game. The Carolina Panthers that have been showing up recently has been really bad football. This is the Carolina Panthers that we know from the last couple years. So, Carolina, congratulations, you got the nod. Seattle, big congratulations. It sucks for San Francisco, but it is what it is. Now we're going to go to the one game in the AFC that really mattered. I'll talk about real quick. New England won, Jaguars won, Texans won, Buffalo won, and Broncos won, and the Chargers took out everyone, so Broncos. So Broncos won, they stayed a 1 seed. New England won, they stayed a 2 seed. Jaguars won, they stayed a 3 seed. Texans won, they stayed a 5 seed. The 6 seed stays Bills. The 7 seed, because they purposely lost, take the 7 seed instead of the 6 seed, is the Chargers. So the only game in AFC that really matters was Sunday Night Football, which was an incredible game. The first half was an old-fashioned defensive game of Ravens at Pittsburgh for the division. Lamar was back. TJ Watt was back. It was insane how they announced it. If you were paying the ESPN on your phone or something, I was looking on Facebook, and then it says, returning. TJ Watt is returning after a month off from the punctured lung and the procedure he got. He is back, and he's healthy and good to go to play against the Ravens. So it's like, fuck, man, I actually think now that the Ravens might lose this game. And then an hour later, the Ravens said, oh, we'll answer that. Lamar Jackson is back, and this is the first week this entire year they practiced every day of the week. And it's the healthiest he said he's felt all year. I'm like, holy shit, the 2 best players in the 2 teams are back. This version of TJ Watt's better than Aaron Rodgers currently. If we talk prime to prime, I'll give it to Aaron Rodgers. But we're talking 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers versus in prime TJ Watt. TJ Watt's a better football player. And then Lamar Jackson is the best player on the Ravens. You can argue Derrick Henry, and I will accept that answer because I'm a Derrick Henry lover. It's still one of my favorite running backs of all time. So I understand that. But the 2 best players on these organizations come back within an hour of each other on the newscast. And I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. We're having Sunday Night Football. We're having all of them coming at it. And the weather was it was very windy. It was cold. It was a good Ravens-Steelers football game. I loved it. Defensive first half, and then Ravens would take the lead. Then Ravens had the lead. Then Pittsburgh took the lead in the second half. Then Ravens answered. Then Pittsburgh answered. Then it came towards the end of the game. Pittsburgh gives up back-to-back big touchdowns after doing good drives. And now they're down. They need a touchdown. They go down with 55 seconds left. They score the touchdown. And now they're up by 2. They kick the extra point, and they miss it. Pittsburgh is only now up by 2 with 55 seconds left, and the Ravens have 2 timeouts. Then Baltimore gets the ball. They get a big play right off rip. They get 10 yards. They're already at midfield almost. maybe to 45. Get to a situation where they're 3rd and 7. Then they get to a situation where they're 4th and 7. Then they make a 30-yard chunk play. Then they don't go anywhere. They kind of stay there. They have to kick a 48-yard field goal for the win with a rookie kicker. They no longer have Tucker. Tucker's no longer there, so they have a rookie kicker going for it to win the game, to put them in a postseason. The extra point was missed wide right, and the 3-point field goal to win the game for the Ravens was up and pushed wide right. The same exact spot as the extra point. A missed field goal. The Pittsburgh Steelers win the game and the division and get to stay home. And they get to play the Texans. It was a great game. It was an old-fashioned Ravens-Steelers football game. Different people. It's not Big Ben versus Joe Flacco, Ray Lewis, Troy Polamalu. It's not that. It's not those guys. It's not Ryan Shazier, not Ryan Clark. All the greats between these two teams, Ed Reed, Suggs, but it was really good rivalry football, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. That was a way better style of football than Tampa versus Carolina. One's 10-7, one's 8-9. There's a drastic difference between those two teams in 4 seeds. No doubt about it. So that's it. I am now going to go and do my live bracket and tell you from the first game to the end who I think is going to win the Super Bowl. This is interesting because I have no idea my favorite currently. Vegas odds have Seattle. I understand that, but that's not me. Going to take a quick drink. All right. We'll start with the AFC. Oh, I don't want to. The AFC is so tough. The AFC is so tough. Oh, man, all 3 games. Brutal. Okay. You know what? I'll start with the Chargers versus the Pats. We'll go in AFC. 7 seed Chargers versus the 2 seed Patriots. I've said it multiple times now on the podcast. Patriots are probably my favorite in the AFC. They look like the best well-rounded football team in the AFC. I'm really tossed up on it, but I'm tossed up on, like, the thing is they've had tough times against good teams, and Chargers can play good football. Justin Herbert, if he plays lights out football, they could win this game. But that's the thing. They need to play lights out. No mistakes, clean football, and then they have a chance in this game. That's why I'm going to go New England Patriots. Because I do not think that they will play perfect football the entire game. And Herbert, honestly, has not had great success in the postseason. He's had some big choke jobs in postseason so far. Next game, Buffalo at Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow. You have the best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. Like, yes, I understand stat-wise you could go with either Matthew Stafford or you could go with New England Patriots. But, I mean, when you talk about just pure talent everywhere when it comes to playing a quarterback position, it's Josh Allen. But the thing is, the team gets gashed. But they do get gashed by the run game. But you actually have it's crazy. You have the best 2 running quarterbacks in the NFL against each other. You'd be like, whoa, what happened about Jalen Hurts? If you look at the stats this year, the best 2 running quarterbacks in the NFL are Trevor Lawrence and Josh Allen. And I think that's the difference, that when it comes to third downs and making a play, it won't be Josh Allen getting the best ones. I think Buffalo's defense has been gashed all year by the run. Jaguars haven't shown a chink in the armor in the last 6 to 7 weeks. There has been nothing to show me that the Jaguars are at all a bad team. And I think Josh Allen will have to do this on his own. Unless Trevor Lawrence does something that he hasn't done pretty much all season, and that's just start throwing interceptions. Trevor Lawrence has been a top 5 QB this entire year. My opinion, this will be a high-scoring game. This will be a definite over, in my opinion. I think the over-under on this game already is like 50. I would still take the over. I think the Chargers-Patriots game will be an under. So I think I'm gonna have to go Jacksonville Jaguars in this. That's my opinion. We're gonna have 2 seed versus 3 seed. As much as I even talked about this is it for Josh Allen, he needs to do it. I think the team isn't good enough. And the AFC has a lot of really good teams where they don't have multiple flaws like the Buffalo Bills do. We would have to see like the Buffalo Bills of last year or 2 years ago, which this is a worse version of the Bills than the last 2 years. And unfortunately, it's going to be Josh Allen or nothing. And it's not going to happen, in my opinion. Jaguars are going to win this game. It's going to be close, but I think Trevor Lawrence is just going to have enough. If for some reason that team is just, they're good. They're a good football team. Love the story, being how bad they were to how good they are. Same thing with the Patriots, how bad they were to how good they are. I love it. Even though I'm not a Patriots fan, but God damn it, I like Drake May. And I love Mike Vrabel. Man, Tennessee Titans screwed up getting rid of him. Stupid move. All right, next one. The Texans, the best wild card, versus going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you asked me this game 2 weeks ago, I'd tell you Texans easily. Texans, 2 of their last 3 games, they've given up a shit ton of points. One of them was a loss. They won, luckily, against the Colts. I understand it's a divisional game. They have no experience against Riley Leonard. But still, like, what the hell happened to your defense? If that defense shows up against the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers game manages, makes a couple big plays, that defense plays great. This is another game that's going to be an under. This game is going to be legitimately like 21-17. It's going to be a low-scoring defensive game, in my opinion. I think the Texans defense lock it in a little bit, but I don't know who I want in this. I would personally, I will say this: I want the Steelers to win this game. I think the Mike Tomlin slander is bullshit. I will come out and say that. It is complete bullshit. If I am 27 other teams in the NFL, if Mike Tomlin comes available, I fire my coach instantly and get him. Legitimately. There's very few head coaches that are better than Mike Tomlin in the NFL. It doesn't matter who's the quarterback. He fucking had Justin Fields having a winning record on the Steelers. Do we understand that? He had Russell Wilson, another quarterback that has been trash, had a winning record with him. And it'll be like, oh, it's just because their defense. It's like, yeah, but he knows how to coach football. He's an incredible coach. And he has had unnecessary, horrible slander and talking about possibly firing him. The stupidest thing the Steelers could do is get rid of Mike Tomlin. The stupidest thing. Legitimately, you could be like, hey, you get Bill Belichick next year for Mike Tomlin. I'd be like, fucking keep Bill down in goddamn college. Like, no, Mike Tomlin, keep him. And I would like the Steelers to win. You could see how much that game against the Ravens meant to him. After the game, pumping his chest, blowing a kiss to the camera. That was basically a big fuck you to everyone, saying like, yeah, we're still them. Yeah, it took a missed kick, but their kicker missed too. So it could have been going to overtime, tied up. But still, it doesn't matter adversity. This team makes it a postseason, but they do get bumped in the first round each year. And CJ Stroud has been to the playoffs his first 2 years, and he's won the first game both years. I think it stays the same, unfortunately. I want the Steelers to win. I will be happy to have this pick be wrong. Happy. But I think the Texans do win this game. Once, I'm going to say it's like going to be like a 21-17 game. Maybe like a 23-20 game, but it's not going to be above 45 points. It's below 45 points is my opinion. I don't know what the odds are. If it's 44.5, then that's funny. But under 45 points, I have the Texans moving on. And unfortunately, that is not what I want to happen, but it is what it is. We got Texans versus the Broncos. I'm going to stay in AFC. I'm just going to do all AFC, then all NFC. Just do it that way, one at a time. Next, we have the Texans versus the Broncos, two teams that are really big on their defense, two teams that their quarterbacks have been on and off. Broncos, I think, are just a better team. They're a better team. I think CJ Stroud has a higher potential than Bo Nix. I don't care what people say about the sophomore slump of last year, and then this year he hasn't been great. I still think the Broncos aren't to be messed with when it comes to their defense. So their defense is very fast. They intercept the ball a bunch. Texans just don't let you get plays, yards and whatnot. Man, I'm actually wanting to go Texans here. Why? Why do I want to go Texans? Going into Mile High, why do I have a feeling I want to go Texans? Or I'm just going to go with my gut. Legitimately, I was going Broncos 100%, but as I'm talking about this, legitimately, my gut is telling me, change it, go Texans against the Broncos. I don't know why, but I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to bullshit it. I'm just going to trust my gut. Once again, I hope Texans lose to the Steelers, but I think Broncos would handle the Steelers pretty easily. Broncos should win this game, but once again, there's more inconsistencies with Bo Nix, and they've been down in more than half their games. They've been down in the second half. Texans are a team that you are behind them in the second half, they win the game. So the Broncos have to play to be ahead and take over the game. And the Broncos played a good team in the Jaguars not too long ago and got the fucking brakes beat off them. And I'm going to go Texans, making it to the AFC Championship game. Texans. Wow. Now, my two favorites in AFC. I said this last week. I'm saying it again. The Jaguars and the Pats are my two favorites in the AFC. So this is my personal AFC Championship game. This is my opinion. I say whoever wins this is beating the Texans or the Broncos or Steelers. My opinion. Jaguars are still the biggest wild card, but they just beat the brakes off of the Broncos. New England Patriots just win. They just win games. Their 3 losses this year have gone to the Steelers early on in the year, and they played horrible. They lost week 1 against the Raiders, which is kind of funny when you think about it now, because Raiders just won their 3rd game the last week of the season, which is really funny, in my opinion. And then who else did they lose to? Patriots lost to the Bills, and they were up on the Bills by 21 points. They were up 21 points on the Bills, and they lost. So their 3 losses, 2 of them are respectable. One of them is like, huh? And one of them, they beat themselves. They beat themselves against the Steelers, but those 2 losses were very early in the year. If you look at the last 12 games of the season, they have 1 loss. Last 12 games, they have 1 loss. And that was a game they were up 21-0. We're talking about a team that, if they didn't have a blunder of a second half, would legitimately be 15-2. And the Jaguars have been hot as hell the last 6 or 7 games. They don't care who's in front of them. Trevor Lawrence looks insane. The last 6 or 7 weeks, the best player in football has been Trevor Lawrence. Not Drake May, not Matthew Stafford. The best football player the last 6, 7 weeks, it is Trevor Lawrence. The best offense in football the last 6 or 7 weeks is the Jacksonville Jaguars. One of the best defense, a top 10 defense in the last 6 to 7 games has been the Jacksonville Jaguars. With all that said, I don't know if it's just one of these things. It's like, I just feel the Patriots are just good enough in New England. But the thing is, they lost 3 games all at home. Their 3 losses have been at home. They lost none on the road. Wow, this is a weird one. Man, this is a weird one. Do I go with my gut again? I was legitimately saying over and over again, maybe my gut's just off. Yeah, I'm doing something crazy. Going Jacksonville Jaguars. Insane. Absolutely insane. I'm looking at this and seeing the Texans and Jaguars, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I was saying the last couple weeks, New England Patriots. And I was saying that it'll be the Broncos versus New England for the AFC. I've been saying that the last 2-3 weeks. And now all of a sudden I have Jaguars and Texans written on this paper. I'm going to make this quick and easy. I said earlier, whoever wins between New England and Jaguars are going to beat the Texans. I wholeheartedly believe that. Jaguars will beat them and go to the Super Bowl. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars in the Super Bowl in my bracket. What the hell did my gut just do to me? This is insane just looking at this. This is the craziest bracket I have ever done. And I'm doing it on a podcast as a first reaction. Wow. And Buffalo could beat Jaguars, and I could be fucked right off rip. Right off rip. And Buffalo is actually favored to go into Jacksonville and win. Just to say that. So I could be fucked right off rip here. This is insane. All right, Jaguars are making Super Bowl, guys. Wow, this... You guys comment if Bills win, just how fucked up my gut was on this. It's all good. I will own that one. The NFC might be a little better than that. Wow, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right. We'll start with the 2 seed versus the 7 seed at NFC. Chicago Bears are hosting the Green Bay Packers. This is the 3rd time they're playing. The home team has won the first 2 games. The only reason the Bears won the second game was because of the injuries that happened in that game. Watson ended up getting injured in the second half of that game, went down, did not return. And Micah Parsons tore his knee. I think it was more than just the ACL. I think it was 2 things in his knee, but we'll just say ACL injury currently. And the Green Bay ended up coughing up the lead and losing in overtime to the Chicago Bears. So, and the Packers since then have kind of folded like laundry. I will say this last week, they were clinched to 7 seed. They couldn't move anywhere, so they pulled everyone. Smart move. I 100% agree with that. So, their record, they could have beat the Vikings if they played their players. They didn't need to. And honestly, it was good because that also gives Harrison his farewell game beating Green Bay. Go retire now. 17 years as a fucking safety in NFL. What a career. Good job, dude. And former Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame fan, so good for you. Happy retirement. And I'm just doing this gut bullshit today, huh? This is called the gut bracket. This is not called logic anymore. I think Green Bay just beats Chicago. I think Chicago gets fraud checked right here. I think it's close to a pick'em. If anything, I think they have Chicago slightly favored. I'm picking Green Bay Packers to go into Chicago and win and right the wrong they had in that previous game. I am going Chicago Bears are losing, and Green Bay Packers, the 7 seed, is going to win, which means they will have to play the 1 seed the following week. So I can do that. So if you guys are doing a bracket, just letting you know, this isn't like NBA or MLB where they have it set who plays who no matter who wins. The NFL goes by highest seed versus lowest seed. So if you pick a 7 seed to beat a 2 seed, they don't play the winner of 3 versus 6. If the 7 seed wins, you got to fix your bracket and make the 7 seed play the 1 seed. So in this case, because I picked the Packers, they're going to now play the Seattle Seahawks instead of it being 2 versus 3. So instead of it being like Bears versus Eagles, it's going to be Packers versus Seahawks. So now it means whoever wins San Fran versus Eagles is going to play whoever wins between Rams versus Carolina. Just to let you know. So it's not like NBA or MLB. So now I'll fix it. So now we have Seattle will be playing the Packers the following week, but we'll get into that after I finish the first round. San Francisco, the 6 seed, playing the Eagles at Philadelphia, the 3 seed. Eagles are a -200 favorite. Eagles are a team that are very streaky. They started off hot as hell, then it went cold, then it got good again. They benched everyone this last game and be like, oh, they lost, so they're going to lose again. They benched everyone. So please, don't even think about that Washington game. They benched everyone for the postseason. They don't care if they're a 2 seed or 3 seed. They're playing for the postseason. They're a team not to joke about. But San Fran isn't either. San Fran lost a close game that an insane defense, stopped them in the Seattle Seahawks. Eagles defense is really good. Not to the level of Seattle Seahawks, but they have a really good offense, a more trustworthy offense than Seattle does, in my opinion. I don't think it should be minus 200 odds, but I still think the Eagles should be favored, and I am going to pick the Eagles to win at home in a close game and possibly a high-scoring game. I'm going to pick Eagles to win and move on. The combination of them having a pretty good defense, a top 8 defense, plus having a top 8 offense versus a team that has a really good offense and not a great defense. San Francisco does not have a great defense, is definitely a factor where they had a good game against Seattle, but Seattle was playing very safe. And it was a divisional game, do or die. The defense was playing all out. I don't know if that's going to be the same thing against Philadelphia. If you told me one team blows out the other, I would tell you it would have to be Eagles blowing out San Fran. I can't see San Fran blowing out the Eagles. That's my opinion. So that also makes it to be like there's more options for the Eagles to win this game. So Eagles are winning this. Now I have the biggest favorite is the road team, the LA Rams, are going to Carolina, and they're going to try to get revenge for that game that they lost to the Carolina Panthers earlier this year. They will get revenge. The only way they don't is if Matthew Stafford throws 2 picks again and they have a fumble. That's what happened. They had 3 turnovers in that game. And it was still like a 30-27 game. That's the only way that happens. Bryce Young has not been playing good football. Carolina Panthers have not been playing good football. The Rams have been playing decent to good football. The Rams are going to win this game. It could be by 7, could be by 3, could be by 30. Rams are winning this game. I'm not going to overcomplicate this. All right, we know where we're going to move on. We'll start with the Chicago. Bears are out. I mind. We're going to go with Packers going to Seattle. This is where the Packers defense not having some DBs, like they've been gashed. They've been gashed by some running backs too, which Seattle's a decent running team, but they're not the best running team. But they will definitely pound the rock more. Let Sam Darnold do some play action. Get Smith and Jigba in there. Rashid Shaheed in there. The Seahawks will have a good, clean game against the Packers. Seahawks will dominate this game, in my opinion. It will be probably a 10-point game. It could be worse, but at the same point, it could be like they could be up by 17 and the Packers score with like 3 minutes left. Whatever, make it a 10-point game. Seahawks are going to win this game handedly. There's not much to talk about here. Seattle moves on to the NFC Championship game. All right. This is an incredible game. The Rams would be going to Philadelphia. This is what happened earlier this year, and the Rams dominated the game, and then they had a blocked field goal, and then Philadelphia scored a touchdown, and then later on the game, to win the game, they blocked that field goal and returned it for a touchdown. Rams special teams has fucked them multiple times this year, not just in that game, against Seattle Seahawks too. If you turn those 2 special teams games around, they're the 1 seed right now. And they have wins over Seattle and 2 wins over Seahawks. 2 wins over Seattle, and they have a win over the Eagles. Sorry, I said that wrong. But still, special teams has screwed them this year. I think the Rams are a better team. Matthew Stafford, I will say in the last 5 games, has had 2 games where he's been iffy. But he's also had the whole year where he's looked great. Jalen Hurts has not looked great this year. Their run game has not looked great this year. They've been hit and miss on their wide receivers. Sometimes Smith doesn't have a great game. Sometimes Brown doesn't have a great game. The Eagles have to play a great football game all the way around, offensively, defensively, to win this game. The Rams just need not to turn over the ball, and they win the game. If Rams just play good football, it doesn't matter if the Eagles play good football, Rams win this game. Like I said earlier, where I said the Eagles just have more ways to win against San Francisco, this is basically the exact opposite. The Rams have more ways to win this game than the Eagles do. I know the Eagles are the defending champs. This team is not as good as last year's team. Plus, last year's team, Eagles, played against injured teams the entire time. The Rams have better wide receivers. I don't care what you say about saying, oh, but A.J. Brown and Smith are a better duo. It's like, no, they're not. Puka Nacua legitimately is top 3 wide receiver in this NFL. It's not up for debate. Devontae Adams, I know he's older. But Devontae Adams has been a touchdown machine towards the end zone. They've got their tight end in this recently, the last couple weeks. I think they showed, other than this last game, their tight end has a touchdown in 6 of the last 7 games. He's playing better than Goddard. Matthew Stafford's the MVP. Possibly Drake May. It's up in I think they have favored Drake May as MVP, but Matthew Stafford's stats are better. It's just one's a 6 seed, one's a 5 seed, one's a 2 seed. One has 5 losses while one has 3 losses. So I understand them giving it to Drake May, the controlling of the game. But if you go by the stats, you'd have to give it to Matthew Stafford. But back to the game. Rams have more ways to win this football game. I do just feel like Matthew Stafford is going to have that game where he doesn't play the way he should. He'll throw those 2 interceptions. Even in the Super Bowl that they won, he threw 2 interceptions. But they're playing a Bengals team that really wasn't the best football team, and they had a Super Bowl win. So I think Matthew Stafford plays good football. I think the Rams get by this. LAR moves on. I can very much see the Eagles winning that game, and I actually think the Eagles would be favored. I know that's crazy, but the Eagles would be favored against the Rams. It'll be very, very close, but I think they'll be favored. Now, the last one would be the LAR going to Seattle, number 3. First game was 20-19. Second game was 38-37. The home team won both games. Moments in both games were incredible. Sam Darnold screwed up in both games, but one game he became a beast in the second half. The other game, he screwed up enough to where they lost 20-19 and they missed a field goal to lose that game. I'm very much excited and hope this happens. I really do. Rams look like the better team in both those games, but can Seattle do it? I think if Matthew Stafford gets to that game against Seattle, he wins. I really do. I think the game that he screws up is against the Eagles if he screws up. I think LA Rams beat Seattle Seahawks. Doesn't matter which version of Sam Darnold shows up. I think you'll get Matthew Stafford, a very good defense. Their special teams needs to play good. That's their issue, is their special teams. There's just so many weapons. I say the LA Rams beat Seattle in Seattle in another thriller, probably something like 28-24. Another great game, and the Rams move to the Super Bowl. That I think people see. I think people see the Rams getting there. I think people see the Seahawks or the Eagles getting there. I don't think people see the Jaguars getting to the Super Bowl. To see Jaguars versus the Rams on this excites me. I would love to see this be the Super Bowl. This would be good for TV. Matthew Stafford, 37 years old, possible Super Bowl winner, a possible MVP winner. That's one thing he hasn't done in his career. He's won a Super Bowl. He hasn't won the MVP. It's a really good team versus Jaguars that legitimately are the hottest team. The last 7 games are the hottest teams in football. Is Jacksonville Jaguars. And that's a fun game. Man, I was thinking I was going to be picking New England versus the Rams. Honestly, that was before I even did this. I was thinking New England versus the Rams. And I saw a couple other people's brackets, and they had the same thing, but I haven't looked at a bracket, sat there and looked at all the games myself. Looked at the matchups individually. Jaguars versus the Rams. Wow, that's a fun game. Wow, who the hell do I go in this game? Man, Rams are the second favorite to win the Super Bowl. It goes, the favorite is the Seattle Seahawks, then it goes to Rams, then I think it goes New England, and then I think it's Broncos and Eagles are same, and Jaguars are like down there after that. You know what? We're going to have fun here. I am risking it all. Absolutely risking it all. I have said the hottest team. I said I don't believe in them. I am now changing my mind. I believe in them. I think they are legit. I think they are the best team in football. They have proven it over the last 7 weeks, and I'm going to stop denying it. It could be fucked, and Buffalo could win right now and fuck my whole entire bracket. I am taking the risk. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. The best team in football as of now, and I believe that will win the Super Bowl and be so unlikely, will be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow, that is so weird. But God, would that be fun? Would that be fun? Come on. How crazy. People were saying Trevor Lawrence was a bust. Number one pick bust. The chosen one over in Clemson. Beating Alabama. Losing to LSU with that 2019 insane team. Honestly, the greatest. People will say maybe Georgia's 2021 team was the greatest football team, or they'll say the Miami Hurricane back in 2001, 2003, something like that, was their greatest college football team. I still think the 2019 LSU Tigers were the greatest football team, college football team. And that's the team that Trevor Lawrence lost to. They won it and then they lost to them in the championship. It's like, and then he looks kind of like a bust. He had Urban Meyer as the head coach. His last head coach sucked too. Then this year, they started off okay, and now Derek hit fire. They said the head coach was a goofball. Now he's legit. Trevor Lawrence, the best player in football the last 7 weeks. The Jacksonville Jaguars, the best football team the last 7 weeks. They're hot at the right time. It would be a great story. It'd be a Cinderella story, honestly. It really would. Imagine Indiana, a team no one thought of, winning the college football playoffs, and Jacksonville Jaguars winning, a team no one thought of, winning the NFL Super Bowl. How fucking crazy would that be? UFC, I'll start it up next week. We'll see how fucked up my bracket is or how good my bracket is. And college football playoffs, we'll start talking about. Yeah, I think we'll have to go over the national championship because I think before my next episode, it would have already happened. So we'll break down national championship. We'll start talking UFC because it's coming back. It's coming back soon. Can't wait. And then we'll see how the NFL bracket's looking. I'm excited. This was crazy because I really did not think Jaguars until I started doing this and talking this out loud. This is a crazy ass bracket. We'll see what happens. Please comment. Let me know what your brackets are looking like. We'll see who's hits, who's doesn't. I'll talk to you next time. See ya.